It is finally here. The End and the Death Volume 2 has been released via audiobook, and oh my goodness, do we have a lot of revelations to talk about. This is part 2 of a 3-part series that pits the end of the Siege of Terra and the end of the Horus heresy, and I cannot wait to uncover all the secrets within. Unfortunately, I got the physical copy, so that's going to take a few more days to get in. But all you people who have the audiobook can go ahead and read and undiscover the awesome revelations of the Dark King, what exactly is going on, and of course the topic that I'm going to be talking about today, the battle between brothers, between best friends, between Primarchs, Sanguinius and Horus. This has been probably the most anticipated fight for me, more so than the Emperor versus Horus, because Sanguinius is my favorite Primarch. And to see him go up against his best friend, and to see him and how far he's fallen to the depths of chaos is just, ooh, it gives me goosebumps. So let's go ahead and read these little excerpts of what exactly is going on with the battle. It's not word for word from the novel, but it is giving us a really good sense of how the battle is going here. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this lore. Sanguinius fights Horus by taking to the sky, occasionally swooping down to stab at him with his blade. Horus is holding back from using the full extent of his chaotic powers, for he wants to turn Sanguinius to the side of the Chaos Gods. However, Sanguinius holds true to his beliefs, in hopes that he can anger Horus enough for him to be clumsy and make mistakes. Horus thinks that Sanguinius seems to be showing fear for the first time in his life. Now this is interesting here because obviously Sanguinius is an expert fighter. He's fought against Angron, Kabanda, Titans, a slew of Chaos Space Marine, and since he has the ability of precognition, he knows he's not going to die in these fights. He knows what he needs to do to come out on top. However, he also knows that Horus is the one that slays him. So because of this, I believe this is how he's fighting, in a more precautious state, taking to the skies, using any advantage he has to bring down his brother Primarch, because he knows any mistake can cost him, and that is what will doom the Imperium. Sanguinius beats Horus down to his knees with a flurry of attacks, and he swings his sword down to cut Horus's neck. However, this is when Horus finally releases his dark powers. He blocks Sanguinius, and Sanguinius tries to fly upward to escape the might of his brother Primarch. But Horus commands a multitude of dimensions now, and he reaches through the 8th angle of space, and slams Sanguinius out of the sky and into the floor below. Sanguinius unfortunately has his ankle and his wing broken, but he still gets up and he faces his brother Primarch. Horus is surprised by how fast and how strong Sanguinius still is in this weakened state. However, Sanguinius moves at the speed of light to attack Horus, but Horus moves at the speed of darkness and smacks him down into a shrine. Amongst the rubble, he notices a skull fall next to him, the skull of his brother, Ferrus Manus. Now this is amazing. This is how Primarchs should be fighting. Super fast, epic movements, Horus going into different dimensions to attack Sanguinius. Just the whole light, dark, the whole pure, chaotic, traitorous, loyalist, sun and moon, dark light. Oh, everything about this is just amazing. I can't wait to actually read word for word what is going on here. But as strong as Horus is, using the powers of chaos, Sanguinius isn't backing down. He's going toe to toe. And then at the very end, he sees the skull of Ferrus Manus fall from the shrine that he was slammed into. This is definitely going to play into his psyche, seeing that one of his brothers indeed has been befallen by the powers of chaos, and Sanguinius could be next. So let's continue. Horus picks up Sanguinius, who is clawing and scratching at him, and he drops him, and begins beating him with the mace, Worldbreaker. Blow after blow is put up against Sanguinius. He is literally being beaten bloody. Sanguinius begins to feel dizzy, noticing the copious amounts of blood oozing from his body. He tries to say some final words, but his lungs are full of blood and he cannot speak. Half of his face has already been peeled off and hangs loosely like a mask. Horus picks him up with his talons, squeezing and snapping his neck and back. Sanguinius drops to the floor of the spirit, and demons arise from the shadows to string his corpse up. This is crazy. So we didn't get to see the black rage that everybody was theorizing was going to happen with Sanguinius. However, he's not dead yet. Yes, his back has been snapped. Yes, his neck has been snapped. You would think this would kill somebody, especially a Primarch, but who knows, man. Until I read it for myself, I will not believe it. However, if this is the way that Sanguinius goes out, man, he went out brutally, but he went out with a fight. Like, he gave Horus, I wouldn't say a run for his money, but he at least bought the time that the Emperor needed to make sure that the end and the death was that for Horus and not for the Emperor. So again, oh man, like I said, I'll give you a full excerpt once I have the book in my hands to kind of go through everything, pick out all the details, but man, reading this minute spoiler, I couldn't help myself. Like, I needed to know what goes on. And let me know what you guys think. Do you think this was a death fitting for Sanguinius? Do you think there's more to it? Could the Black Rage actually manifest in the Primarch? Or is his death going to be sent across the warp and basically mutate his Blood Angels to have the Black Rage? Oh man, it's just so many questions. It's painful to see, especially hearing that his face is literally hanging off of his skull. Worldbreaker is a huge mace, and yeah, that's definitely going to do some damage. But yeah, the whole concept of my mind kind of seeing the demons materialize from the shadows and kind of like raising his dead corpse up, that's pretty metal, that's pretty badass. So again, guys, videos are going to be coming out throughout the whole week on the End and the Death Volume 2, so stay subscribed for that. I've also got a kind of an episodic adventure into the future of what 40K could be. Obviously, we're going into the past with the End of the Death Volume 2. Now I'm going to give you my thoughts as to how the future of 40K will come out with the new occurrences that have happened. Because I did do the future of Warhammer 40K and the beginning of Warhammer 50K, and I gave my thoughts on that. But I feel like we've had a few revelations that kind of twist things in a different angle. So stay subscribed for all things Warhammer 40K. And as always, guys, it's been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be catching you guys in the next episode. Peace.